So Roy Jones Jr. and Terence Crawford just stepped into the ring together. But what happened after the gloves came off? Roy Jones has dropped the bombshell, and let's just say Captain Hook has made it clear that Crawford's skills will be enough to beat Canelo.
It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Yeah.
It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Yeah. You said you don't think, or you don't look into the weight difference. Why?
When you know how to box, when you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much.
According to Jones, the question of whether Crawford can win has very little to do with weight and almost everything to do with what happens when Canelo lands a clean punch. Roy says if Crawford can take the shot, then Canelo is finished. This is coming from a man who famously jumped from middleweight to capture a heavyweight title. He knows a thing or two about smaller fighters defying the odds.
Going factor, but if he goes out and boxes Bud, he's not going to beat Bud boxing.
The main factor is whether Crawford can handle the power, because if Canelo just tries to box him, he won't win. If Crawford can withstand Canelo's punches, then Canelo can't outbox him. Roy leans toward the belief that Crawford has what it takes. He's watched the way Crawford times opponents, uses movement to frustrate fighters, and finishes strong when he senses weakness. For Roy, weight is only a factor if Crawford isn't mentally or physically prepared for moving up. But he believes Crawford is ready. He thinks Crawford is already training like a fighter who knows exactly how to defeat Canelo. Roy says he doesn't care about size if the smaller fighter has a higher ring IQ. That's what he sees in Crawford.
Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong without showing that I am tough.
He believes Crawford has an 85+% chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which is exactly what Canelo would want. Canelo would love for him to stand and fight. But Crawford will establish from the first round that he belongs without trying to prove he is tough. Roy is not alone. David Benavidez also shared his thoughts on the potential fight. He told Fight Hub TV that it's a great fight, but he slightly favors Canelo because of the weight difference. In his word, it's a good fight, more like a 60-40, only because of the weight difference. But you can't take away Crawford's skill. You have to give him credit for his skill. He's an amazing fighter. Benavidez, who has been a top contender in Canelo's division for years, respects Crawford's abilities. He doesn't dismiss the threat, but like many, he sees the weight as a major hurdle.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level.
But someone who has already beaten Canelo doesn't even think weight is the most important issue. Dmitry Bivol, who gave Canelo his second career loss, recently told Ring magazine that the real key is mental readiness. Bivol said it's not only about getting used to the power, it's also about being mentally prepared to fight at that weight. In his view, smaller opponents who lose to Canelo don't do so because of size. They lose because they're not mentally ready. Bivol believes that Crawford, with his calm demeanor, is one of the few who could go up in weight and not collapse under the pressure. He even added that Crawford's ability to switch stances is another reason he might win this. Bivol said it gives Crawford real advantages that could throw off Canelo's timing. This is coming from someone who knows what it takes to beat the Mexican star and has done it.
How would you give the blueprint to Terence to beat Canelo Alvarez?
Just need to do his job, what he's doing well.
Bivol, a light heavyweight, famously outboxed Canelo with a steady jab and superior footwork, showing that a disciplined approach can dismantle Canelo's power-heavy style.
Now what the media is reporting, and it's circulating, is that Canelo Crawford is the biggest fight of the decade. I mean, to a purist and a fighter, it's laughable. Because you have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who's a natural light heavyweight.
It's a matchup that defies conventional boxing wisdom, making it both controversial and captivating. But not everyone is siding with Crawford. Some fighters who have sparred with both still lean toward Canelo. Welterweight contender Alexis Rocha told ES News that he thinks Canelo will win because of the natural size difference. He said,
"Yes, there is weight classes for a reason. Canelo is a lot bigger. Crawford has that. He also has a good size to him where he has that good size and he has that reach and he has that boxing IQ. That's the most important thing when it comes to a boxing game is the IQ. You know, I think Crawford will hold his own very good in that fight. But I will lean a little bit more towards Canelo given the fact that he's more experienced and he's been in there with bigger guys."
Rocha gives Crawford full credit for his skill, but believes experience and natural weight will carry Canelo through.
That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well his body, his speed, and his power, because he's moving up to another level of weight.
I asked this because you did it with Margarito. You went to 54, and people were like, "Oh my God, this guy's so big, Margarito." But your speed made the difference in that fight.
Another fighter, Corin Davis, who has also sparred both men, shares the same view. Speaking to Mill City Boxing, he said,
"Crawford adjusting to the 168 pound division. I know he's been sitting at a heavier weight for a while, but he's been showing his training and stuff. So that's definitely going to help him. Canelo experience, because you got Crawford, he got great experience as well. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a good chess match."
Davis's take falls under a view that many Canelo supporters carry, that one clean shot from Crawford won't be enough. If he wants to win, he'll need to chip away over time and avoid making a single mistake. Davis also added that Canelo's power isn't just about knockout strength. It's about how it wears you down over time and shuts down your rhythm. Then there's Arislandi Lara, who knows what it's like to share the ring with Canelo. Lara fought Canelo in 2014 and lost by split decision. He recently told the media that Crawford can win, but only if he learns from past mistakes. Lara said that he, like William Skull more recently, tried to outbox Canelo with pure movement and defense, and it didn't work. Canelo was able to impose his rhythm and land the heavier shots that caught the judge's attention. Lara said Crawford has to move, but also punch. It's a critical point and one that highlights the fine line Crawford will have to walk. Be active without being reckless.
It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. And it was good. It was a very good point. It was like Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the best part of a decade.
Basically,
he's so used to taking those shots, whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like?
He warned against arm punches and overly cautious defense. He believes Crawford has a good chance if he combines his footwork with consistent offense and body shots. Otherwise, he'll fall into the same trap that cost Lara the win in 2014. He called it a 50-50 fight, but pointed to one main factor that could swing it: whether Crawford can be offensive without becoming reckless.
Bud is one of those guys. He just locks in. He just locks in, especially when you doubt him. So yeah, it's a really interesting matchup. I think of it more from psychological than anything.
This is a crucial point. Crawford thrives on proving people wrong, and the doubt surrounding his size could be the fuel he needs. This entire conversation is now turning into something bigger than just a fight prediction. It's starting to expose divisions in the boxing world over how much weight and power should matter. Roy Jones is using his own experience as a smaller man who beat heavyweights to argue that timing, IQ, and ring control can beat size if applied correctly. It's also opening up old debates about Canelo's recent fights.
If it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes and be smart, he can win that fight.
Some fans and experts believe he's declined since the Bivol loss. His last performance against William Skull didn't impress many. The output was low. His movement looked predictable. That has people like Roy Jones raising eyebrows and asking if the version of Canelo who knocked out Kovalev and battered Billy Joe Saunders is still the same man today. That decline, if real, is what Roy believes Crawford is ready to take advantage of. He thinks Crawford is peaking right now, both mentally and physically, and that the timing is right to change the narrative.
There's always a way. Put it that, there's always a way. There's always a way to win.
Still, nobody is pretending it's going to be easy. Everyone agrees Crawford can't afford to run. He can't give Canelo the opening rounds just trying to survive. That's when Canelo builds rhythm, and starts laying traps. Roy specifically has warned that if Crawford tries to stay on the back foot too long, he'll end up getting cornered. The goal has to be to frustrate Canelo early, move, hit, and move again, but with enough activity that judges can't ignore the volume. The most fascinating part is that for all the talk about Crawford's skill, the real question might be about Canelo's adaptability. Will he be able to adjust to a fighter who is not only smaller, but also more fluid and unpredictable than anyone he's faced in years?
Over is fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing.
But what makes this even more complex is that while Canelo has been hit by bigger men like Gennady Golovkin and Kovalev, he hasn't been hit by a fighter with Crawford's unique combination of angles, timing, and speed. What makes this fight so tricky is that both guys have real arguments in their favor. Crawford has the momentum, the IQ, and now the endorsement from one of the greatest technicians in boxing history. But Canelo has size, strength, experience, and a chin that has never truly failed him. Even those who have sparred both don't always agree. That kind of uncertainty is rare in boxing, and it's why this fight feels so unpredictable. But how do you see it going? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.